First I click a Google apps, then go to searching bar, then putting here USA top 10 insurance company, USA top 10 insurance company here showing on service CCI service LLC captive insurance company. As we click here and showing here lot of things about the CIC services, turning risk into wealth. The CCI services difference, CCI services difference service, meet our team. About meet our team, then you should click here about CIC service, then click here our approach to captive management, then click here the CIC services difference. The CIC services team provide turnkey. Here is a lot of things is they mention. If we want to contact with them, if someone contact with the CIC services, they can help you. You should put up your company details, your name, your company name, your phone number, your email number required, then you can send. If you want to go the details, then you should click our approach creative management, then you can see what the more details, what is there more details. Victory, choose the captive service management with the proven track record of fighting for this its client and winnings. Learn more, we click here for learn more, for learning. Then here is a showing lot of things. Victory Supreme Court back CIC services 920 against the IRS. Randy Sadler captivating thinking in a precedent-setting Supreme Court case. CIC services has won an important victory for taxpayers against the IRS. In CIC services v. Internal Revenue Services, the issues before the court was whether or not our IRC has a special privilege not available to any other governmental agency to pass and enforce even legislation without interference from any court. CIC services contended that the services does not have such a privilege, while the IRC contended that it does. The IRC never vigorously disputed our content that notice 2016-66 in is a legal regulation, said in King General Counsel for CIC services. In the latter stage of the legislation, especially the service more or less accepted at latest the sake of argument, but the notice was legally issued in a contravention of the Administrative Procedures Act. Despite it obvious and all but considered legals, the IRC stated that would be continued if enforcing the legal notice that are contended that courts are powerless to stop it for doing so as a consequence of the Anti-Injections Act of Civil War law prohibiting federal court courts from using injunctions that restrain the assessment or collection for of a tax. Almost unbelievably, the IRS position was essential that it along among federal agencies may, by virtue of the Anti-Injection Act, each issues and enforce even facially illegal regulations without court interference. At latest, whenever doing so many at some unknown points in the future the services and assuring or collecting some unknown amount of tax sum from some unidentified taxpayer. Said King, but neither the next nor the history of a Anti-Injection Act suffered such a contention, and the act would be tyrannically unconstitutional if it did. On May 17, 2021, the Supreme Court of the United States agreed with CIC service in a unanimous decision. The court ruled that the Anti-Injection Act does not prevent federal courts from enjoining the IRS enforcement of legal regulation when the regulation imposes affirmative reporting obligations that inflict costs on taxpayers separate and partially when they potential